Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at your work week forecast for November 10th through the 14th. And if you want November to feel a lot more like December, this week is your week. Not so much today. By the time you get this forecast, I was a little slow getting it out today, but had some stuff come up this morning. But basically, by the time you get this forecast, you're probably going to be have had a relatively kind of a rainy November kind of day, so it hasn't been that amazing. But as we look at what's coming after this, the cold is on. So here is our storm that has been moving through in lots of waves. And then the upper level kind of Arctic push that has moved far to our west. So much so that we have seen a decent amount of snow, some lake enhanced around the Great Lakes. And some of that snow has made it even into the southern Appalachian Mountains. So yeah, quite cold. Some of this, not so much for us. This will be a cold week, but not ridiculously cold. I don't think we're even going to see, maybe we'll see teens one night, but probably even most of our temperatures will be in the 20s. We're going to see daytime highs around 30, especially tomorrow. So it's going to be cold, but not brutal. But the cold has pushed. We got midwinter cold in the southeastern part of the United States. This is just really plummeted southward, this cold air mass. So we're not quite as bad here, but chilly. And we are going to see some snow. Here is a look at those clouds. You can see as the storm was getting going this morning, there were a few kind of breaks. And even here this afternoon, there's been some lessening of the clouds in some places, while there's been thickening of the clouds. But mostly we've been quite cloudy. And obviously we've been kind of off and on spotty precipitation. Not a lot of precipitation today, but off and on. Most of the heavy stuff came last night. If we take a look at wider radar, here's what you can see. You can see we still have some rain coming, but you can see the changeover to snow is definitely happening. Lake effect snow will be well into effect. Certainly upstate New York is going to see more of that than we are. But we're definitely going to see, as this kind of pivots through, a period of some lighter snow that I think will add up to some accumulations, mostly on the western facing greens. I've got a snowfall map for you later on. Nothing extensive, but it could be a little slippery tomorrow afternoon or evening if you're driving over those mountain passes. Route 11, Route 9, up through Mount Holly, Route 4, where it is. Those are the kind of places that could be a little bit slick. You can see how cold it is as we really do have snow falling in southern Indiana, southern Ohio, even not so much in the mountains. The mountains definitely a little bit more, but even some of these places further to the south. Definitely, that's unusual for this time of year. For us, not quite as unusual to see snow by now. You can see kind of by the time you see it, we'll be a couple hours old again. But basically, these last slugs of rain moving through, and then the changeover kind of happening as the storm starts to pull out to our east. And actually, the colder air is actually moving in almost from the southeast now, as it's colder in western Pennsylvania, even in western Maryland, than it is currently in southern Vermont. And it's not exactly warm here. So, yeah, definitely kind of a crazy weather pattern overall. Let's take a quick look at that surface map, and you can kind of see. The storm, we kind of has come in waves, but we do kind of finally have a consolidating low pressure system off the East Coast. And basically, we're going to be in the wake of this low pressure system throughout lots of the rest of the week. This cold Arctic high is sliding to the east. It will moderate, certainly, as it's not in an Arctic spot anywhere anymore. But we will have a couple of reinforcing shots, so we're going to stay cold. Lots of the rest of the country will moderate pretty quickly this week. We will stay on the chilly side really all week, and we're actually going to get another kind of shot of cooler air towards the end of the week that will reinforce some of that air. So we're not, after today, we're not going to see 40s probably again this week. After this, and that's kind of unusual for mid-November. Not crazy. Again, it's not in the scale of things overly unusual, but definitely not what you typically see. Just to kind of give you an idea, this is just a map that shows temperature anomalies, right? So basically, if it looks like a cold color, that means we're way below average. You'd have to look down in here, but we're talking some of these purples are 15 to 20 degrees below average, and this is about the high temperature time of day. Notice to the west of that, not surprisingly, we've pushed up a lot of warm air. So the Rockies, both in the United States and in Canada, quite a bit above average. But the eastern half of the United States has really cooled off, and we will kind of stay that way. As we're not really going to push this ridge in our direction. It's not going to make it all the way here. We're going to kind of have more of a north-northwest flow behind the system today. So if we take a look at snowfall accumulation. This is for tomorrow. Basically, the axis of the upper level part of this system is going to move through. Flurries are possible, and we'll go through this in the forecast, but flurries are possible really anytime once we change over to snow, which would be anything that's left over, I think by 9, 10 o'clock tonight at the latest. Anything that's left over will change to snow flurries or snow showers overnight tonight. Tomorrow, it's really a period from anytime afternoon through early evening. So anytime from 2 to 5 or 6 o'clock, where we could see some persistent snow showers that aren't going to cause big problems. Under an inch, basically, for most areas. The southern greens here, these western-facing slopes, a little bit more where you get a little bit of upslope enhancement, 1 to 2 slushy inches. The roads will probably be mostly just wet, except for, again, some of those places. As you're coming up Route 11 over Bromley, Route 30 if you're headed up through Snow Valley. If you're in the Londonderry area, Route 9, you always got to be a little careful. Wouldn't be shocked for Mount Holly. Yeah, you know the places where it is. Nothing crazy, nothing that is going to be a massive problem, but you should be aware. It could be slick, and you're just going to be aware of it. And the grassy surfaces, I think, for a lot of these areas in the mountains above 1,000 feet, we'll probably see at least a little bit of accumulation. Not a guarantee, nothing. That this is more of a taste of things to come. There will definitely be flurries in the air. I think everybody over the next couple of days will definitely see some flurries in the air. So if you haven't seen snow yet at all in the air, you will over the next couple of days. Let's take a quick look at the forecast. You see that light rain today, those temperatures in the low 40s that are actually starting to drop. Basically, as we speak, we'll change over to some flurries, basically, or maybe a few snow showers overnight tonight. I don't think any of that anything will accumulate tonight, just be in the air. It's tomorrow with temperatures, high temperature tomorrow. It's going to feel cold, high of 30. That's not that unusual to get even in January. So not but a chilly-ish day. With a little bit of light snow in the afternoon. That could stick a little bit in some spots, especially at elevation. Wednesday, Thursday, we moderate the temperatures a little bit, not crazy, but a little bit. We're breezy with some afternoon, particularly afternoon snow flurries mostly, maybe a snow shower. Nothing that I think is really going to accumulate. You also have to be a little careful with those snow showers. If you get a heavier one, the road can get coated, especially after we were cold for a couple of days, and that can cause a brief problem. But I don't think I wouldn't worry about it really, just as kind of this is just telling you. By Friday, I think your snow flurries are basically over. Temperatures, though, as you can see, still not getting above 40. Maybe some of the valley locations on Thursday will get to 40, but most of us are in the 30s all week once we fall below 30 this afternoon. Just a quick look at those highlights. This week will feel more like early December than early November. Any rain today that's left will change to snow by evening. Tuesday brings snow showers and a period of light snow Tuesday afternoon and evening. Like I said, I wouldn't worry about travel. Would be more like probably between, like, if it's going to accumulate, it'd probably be between like 4 o'clock and 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow evening would be the time I'd be a little worried about that. Again, I'm not that worried about it, but a little bit. It's also a holiday, so with Veterans Day tomorrow. So a light coating of 1 to 2 inches of snow is possible for the western slopes of the greens. That's preliminary, mostly above 1,500 feet and on the western side. And then Wednesday and Thursday bring dry conditions with some flurries. No accumulation on those days. Like I said, I don't think we're going to see anything like that. So, kind of an active weather week. We're kind of into that period. I'm sure we will have more interesting winter weather to come eventually. But for now, this is it. I do want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. They help support what I do here at the West River Weather Guy. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you haven't liked or if you haven't followed my YouTube channel before, I would encourage you to do so. Helps make sure you don't miss any of my videos. That's subscribe, not follow. You can follow me on Facebook too, but mostly I just post the videos there. Also, I do have a Patreon page. That's where my Patreons support me. If you're interested in that, there's a link in the description of the video that brings you there. Talks about some of the things that my patrons get. So I will be back on Friday with a look at next weekend's forecast.